To America! Welcome to the Tong, where our loyalty lies only with warrior, and they will scrap only if I give them the order. And you feeling itchy, you got something to say? Just know we hop this way. Nobody else is suited for this other than us. I know it's crazy, but we work with it and don't give up. Welcome to the show. If you don't know the name, we call it Hop This Way.
Welcome back, everybody. Hello to all our itchy onions out there. Back for a special edition of the Hop This Way show. It's your boy Zeus, and with me, the rest of the magnificent Tong that we call the Hop This Way show. Money Matt Chua, right to my right here, if you're well. How's it going, Matt?
What's going on, man?
I mean, big day, big day. I'm pretty excited.
I mean, that's really understating. This is a huge day.
Oh, I feel like we got to do the getting sticky at the beginning of the show.
No.
Calm
your ass. We need to save this for the end.
Sorry,
we gotta save this.
Feeling a little itchy. Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the most badass woman in this Tong. That is the Asian hip hop hippie herself. Miss Stephanie Youngstrad, how are you?
Good. I'm out at a farm watching horses at the moment. You never know where I'm going to be.
I mean, you're in Hawaii, you're in Boston, you're in Martha's Vineyard. This week you're tending a horse somewhere. I mean, I want your life.
I'm just a big kid.
And of course, we've got the professor down below. That's right. Mr. Frank Zhang, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm not on a farm watching horses. I'm hanging out with my cat and all you fine folks.
Hey, love to have you here,
folks.
Bring us the history and a little bit of smack as well at the same time. Always loving it. And then, of course, it's our favorite, the warrior Max geek herself, Miss Rebecca Nishi. How are you, ma'am?
Very fine. I'm glad to be here with you again.
I mean, you ladies each and every week, kill it for us, helping out with special effects, helping out with just being you on the show. But Rebecca, I mean, you're the producer extraordinaire, because every week you come hard, bringing us the best of the guests from the show Warrior that we love so much. And this week isn't any different.
No, it's different. It's very different.
I'm sorry.
No, this is very different.
I mean, it's not surprising that she can keep coming with these big surprises for us, though.
Because they are the most generous people in the world.
We essentially have two shows for one. This is going to be chaotic real quick, real fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, without any further ado, let me welcome Perry Young. How are you? Thank you so much for being here.
Hello.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you both for coming.
Father of us all.
No, my sister.
Your sister tuning in as well. Oh my Lord.
There we go.
And the
Happy
birthday shout
Steph.
out. Happy birthday as well, Steph. I'm sorry I had to say that right off the bat there.
Oh, I think and Matt
as
First
well.
time. You picked a hell of a first time.
Wait, what's the birth date? What's the actual birth dates?
Oh, Perry. Okay, let me just deliver this because Matt says I'm a devil child. Matt says I'm a devil child.
I mean, he's right. Why do you say that?
6669.
If you flip the 9 upside down, that is a devil child right there.
I am a devil child.
And then
Suddenly changed.
And then I'm
number of the beast.
So I'm a full Gemini.
Wait, which way day is it, Matt, again?
I'm June 2nd, so I'm a full Gemini. Two's all the way around, baby.
Well, my son is June 8th tomorrow.
Oh,
that's my
happy early birthday then to your
youngest son. Actually, youngest son.
There you go.
Awesome. That's great. And Chen, is it your birthday soon too?
You know what? We start shooting day 1 on my birthday.
Yo, what?
Wait, what?
What a gift.
That is a huge gift. That's JT just saying, hey man, Wait, please tell me for your birthday gift though. Did they make a Violin Man episode?
What? No, under contract, guys. NDAs. NDAs. We can't talk about it.
Right. Fair enough. We'll take that as it is. I do want to say, first of all, we only have Perry for a short amount of time. We know that you're both so very busy, so we want to kind of just get that out of the way. But a big thank you, Perry, for doing this. And if I could just start, I mean, I just, for one, adore everything that you do, not just on the screen, but mostly your activism and what you do for not just Asian Americans, but I see you doing the same for the Black Americans and Canadians out there like myself. What made this such a passion for you, sir?
Wow. Well, I mean, I was fortunate to have been able to study Asian American history and get a minor in Asian American studies at San Francisco State University, which is one of the first universities, if not the first university in the U.S. who actually had to strike and fight for the right to be educated in the history of people of color in the United States.
Oh.
So it's a really rich and diverse history that nobody will ever learn unless you fight for it. So I just happened to into an Asian American and law class in college, and it just blew me away learning about how our laws in America are structured to keep women and people of color down. So as soon as I learned that, I was hooked on what is the real information out there. What's out there that's we don't have access to, right? But I was fortunate enough to have access to. So I got a minor's degree in it and learned that, man, this country is built in the way that the opening scene of Warrior gets into, right? Like
Right.
capitalism, scapegoating of immigrants, and political demagoguery. That's how this country started, and that's how it is today. So it's like, I learned from history that I have to fight for those people of color, and women have to stick together to fight systemic, institutionalized oppression. I mean, and that's why it's such a gift to be a warrior, because it just says it all right there in an entertaining way.
Right. And Chen, I'll ask you this one quickly as well. You joining on the show in the second season, what was it like coming into this show, and what was the weight of it? Like, was there a, and by weight I mean just the responsibility, I guess, going into a show like this, not only trying to show the Asian culture the respect it deserves, but also the LGBTQ crowd as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It was an honor, to be honest. It was such an honor to join this amazing family. It's been the best job I've ever had. And, just coming into the show, because it honestly hits me really, really personally, because I am Chinese. I'm from China. And knowing this history and on a deeper level of our history and our past, coming into a family and a show that really shows such a slice of history that I think never really gets talked about quite enough. The immigration, the first Chinese coming to this country. I felt the weight of it immediately. And one of the first things that, that honestly, they didn't give me a lot of information about Hong. So a lot of it, was, we got to meet the creative team halfway, and a lot of it kind of came from my imagination. But one of the things that was always prevalent was that he was a gay man. He's a gay hatchet man, and being a gay man, that being such an integral part of your identity and your character, that to me was not something that I ever took very, very lightly. I think those cops are going to get me.
I was just like, you're getting. That's JT. He's like, I heard him talking about season 3. Don't get him now. That's awesome.
I hope everyone's okay.
Right.
But for me, I felt that I couldn't even say it was weight as much as an honor, and it gave me such a rich life to draw from, a rich experience to draw from, and so I just wanted to, live this life as truthfully and as honestly as possible, because love is love, and you are who you are.
Hey.
Exactly.
Race,
Exactly.
sexuality, identity, all of the above.
Love it.
Yes.
Great answer. Great answer. Now, Perry, of course, we'd be remiss if nobody asked you. One of us always has to ask, and I see it in every interview, about your passion for music. Uh, we've seen it on display many times. We've seen it at the demonstrations as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about where your passion for music started and just how important it is to you?
Wow, I mean that's a great question. I mean, ever since, I mean, if I could think back on some of my earliest memories as a child, I loved listening to music, and even as I think about, like, even before I probably was fully able to speak, I used to sort of like scat or something. I just remember like you're just like making it up, and I just remember doing that around the house as like my earliest recollections. And my dad listened to Elvis and Peking opera or Cantonese opera in the house back to back, so it was like,
Wow.
yeah, a really musical household of like hybrid music.
Right.
I'd hear like this wailing Cantonese opera with Elvis, and it was just like, that's my house, that's my home, that's my culture. And about the time I was, getting into some serious trouble, and like everybody in the junior high school or early teens, smoking pot and all this stuff and cutting school, and I discovered rock and roll, like heavy metal, Led Zeppelin
Ah,
and
yeah.
Pink Floyd,
Oh,
and I was like,
wow.
man, this music, if it wasn't for this music, I'd be in serious trouble, Like, that music just, it gave me a home, right? It gave me like a place to go to feel safe and feel good about the world. And then I picked up the guitar, and it was like, that's another thing that got me off the streets, right? Otherwise I'd be in serious trouble. So I think that I saw music right away as something that was um, soothing, something that
Right.
just gave me a voice and like calmed me down. The nervous system of, because when you're a teenager, you're assaulted by so much mixed messages in the world. It's like, what can I, your hormones are raging, and at that time, my dad had bought a restaurant in the middle of nowhere in Texas, so I was experiencing some severe culture shock. It was like having music meant that I had a place to go to feel safe. So when I became an entertainer or a theater artist, I knew that I always, because the rock concerts were so powerful, you know, and I always wanted that energy, the energy of like
Right.
loud music. And when I started a theater company in New York, we all played instruments. So I suggested to the theater company, the three guys, we have to sort of be a band also and a theater group. So we were sort of known as this sort of garage band theater company. And that kind of put us on the map because it was exciting theater. We wrote our songs, we played music, and we did scenes, and we told our stories. And so music was almost like this sort of fundamental way of human expression, clearly, like from where the heart is, cutting across the intellectual crap of some kind of theater can do for you. Just talk theater. The music is like experiential therapy.
Mm.
So
Absolutely.
I gotta have it.
Feel
Can
I
it.
gotta.
Can I add a question,
Of
Sus?
Sure, of course.
course.
Yes. For those who don't know yet, Perry, can you tell us about your history with the La Mama Theater
Uh,
and with Corky Lee?
oh my God, I want to try to make that short because that's like a life story in itself.
Yeah.
Corkley is this is a renowned activist artist, and he was my first friend in New York City. When I first moved to New York, I was auditioning for things and I couldn't get anything. And in about 6 months' time, I thought I was going to leave New York because it was like I wasn't cut out for this, all this rejection. And then I got cast into this experimental theater production with 7 Asian American theater artists, and Corky Lee was one of them who wrote a play called Chinese Men Can't Make Me Dance, and that became my first
Oh,
professional
wow.
acting debut. And it was the only play that Corky wrote because he was really a photographer. And he was one who photographed all these civil rights movement things, Black Asian solidarity in the civil rights. And he really put like people of color unity images out there in the world. And he was my first friend in New York, So I followed in his steps in a way of being an activist artist. It's like, let your art speak and change people's hearts, right? I mean, words are fine, politicians are fine, educators are fine, but we also need the arts to change culture. And I learned that from Corky. And so through Corky, from that play, I got into several other productions, and I got in front of La Mama, Ellen Stewart, the late great Ellen Stewart, founder of La Mama, one of the first experimental theater companies in the world. And she just opened up the world of performance to me, and how we can tell our stories on a stage in a room with people and change society, right? It's a small, it's a seed. Theater is a seed of people in a room that grows together. It's a community. So that's where I honed my chops, at La Mama Theater. And I toured the world for many years with La Mama's company doing experimental plays. And this was a time when actors, more quote unquote legit actors for Broadway, my friends were telling me, oh, you should audition for TV and film. That's where you could really make a living. But at that time in the 90s, there was nothing for an Asian American man on television and TV. So I'm talking about nothing. It was a desert. It was a desert, So La Mama gave me a place to hone my chops until the time was right, and then I started auditioning for TV and film, and I found my way here.
And thankfully you're here. And sorry, Chen, we don't mean to be. We're not ignoring you. I promise.
No, I'm just enjoying listening.
I know. I mean, it's so enthralling. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorite movies that I've watched recently was another great cultural movie that I thought you did, and that was the movie Boogie. Yeah.
Right.
What was that like, being on that set? Because you were showing us a different dynamic than what we're used to seeing for the Chinese family in TV and movies.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, many of you probably know of Eddie Huang, who wrote Fresh Off the Boat, the television series, based on the book, which was much more serious. So Eddie, there was some controversy around Eddie in the show because Eddie was like, this is not my family. We're not like funny, this is serious stuff. So Eddie left the show and he wrote Boogie. And Boogie, he goes, I wanted to show who my dad really was, and who his dad really is. His dad is still alive. And his dad was a tough guy, And he was like, the world needs to know that my dad was a tough guy, So I talked to Eddie a lot about how to portray his dad and his ideas about his dad. And it was like, yeah, like a lot of that generation and I knew those guys. I saw those guys in Chinatown, and my dad was that guy when we moved out into Texas. It was like, they were not, I mean, I understand what comedy is and ABC sitcom comedy. I understand what that is. And that wasn't, I think Eddie didn't feel that was a good mix for his father to tell his story.
Right.
But I really loved, when I read the script, that it was about the main overriding theme was about Black and Asian solidarity.
Yes.
You rarely see an Asian man or even an Asian person and a Black person in a relationship outside of New York City or California,
Boston.
Yes. Outside of
I'm from the deep south. We see that a lot.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. There is a documentary out about Chinese grocery stores in the South, right? It's new, and it's how deeply embedded they are and supported by the Black community. So I want to see it. I just saw a trailer for it. But so that was what drew me to the film, like this theme of solidarity and love between people of color, and how they're trying to basically fight the system together and everything that is against them. So it was an excellent project to be involved with.
Yeah, great movie, and like you said, being the only non-Asian on the show, I don't know if you guys can tell or not. I don't know if you can tell or not.
You're the honorary.
I will be playing the part of Uncle Phil in the next reboot of The Fresh Prince. Sorry. That's a bad joke. It works every time I say it, though. Now, what's it like? This is for the both of you. Getting to see your friends and family from the set of Warrior again after being off for what's it been 3 years now? Like since the last time you would have been on set together. I'll put that out to Chen.
Oh, you know what? We have not gotten quite there yet. We are about to.
Oh.
Everybody's about to ship out just very, very, very soon. But we do catch up with each other quite often, and it's always, you know, it's always like family again every single time. I mean, we have the best. We just have the best family, you know.
Yeah.
There's not like I don't know how to describe it except that you know it's just every day you go to work and we're in Cape Town and then every day you go to work it's just like perfect. I don't know. It's just like pleasure. It's just a joy. The whole. I'm sure Perry, you can attest. The whole season just flies by.
You know by the time Chen or Hung shows up in season 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first day I met Chen, it was like he was already part of the family. Like wait, you weren't in season 1? You know, it was like you were just a part of it from the moment you got in the van to go to training. I was like, we were talking, and it was like, wow, you're like my brother already. You know, it was so amazing, and that's like everybody on the show. I'm talking about, you know, I'm talking about the non-Asians also. Everybody is just
Look at that.
instantly family, and I attested to Bruce Lee. You know, we all know we're I mean, I know all the Asians are there because of Bruce Lee. It's like I say, I'm not doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without Bruce Lee. But you know, Tom Weston Jones is like, my mother was in love with Bruce Lee. You know, I mean, you know, everybody.
That's
So
surprised.
it's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's such a rare, I think, wonderful, you know, confluence of such uniquely different people.
And everyone that I talk to or I hear speaking of the show says that you can feel like Bruce Lee spirits rounding you, blessing.
Especially the first day when I saw Shannon walk on set, and Zeus, you were saying, you know, talking about the weight of
Right.
it all. I hadn't even started filming yet, but I saw Shannon, and I was like, "Holy shit! I better not fuck this up." This is real. When I saw her, I was like, "This." It was all a dream. Even before that, right? When I got cast, I wasn't floating around. But when I saw Shannon on set, it was like water splashing on my face. And
Oh.
this is real. Do not fuck this up, you know.
We have a video from someone speaking about Shannon, right, Zeus?
We do. I was going to get right to it. I was just kind of waiting there, but maybe you guys can tell me about this. Or we need a finish to this video.
Oh my god, guys, I am here backstage in Warrior, our TV show on Cinemax, and I'm like getting like really, really emotional right now because I just met Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter, and it was just so
Man, that was
What a cliffhanger. It was so what, Chen?
so
what was
what?
it?
Right.
It was so what?
that was unintentional. I was just saying, you know, growing up, Bruce Lee was just my hero, as with many people. But I think, like, especially for me, you know, getting into martial arts when I was young, and especially kung fu, and it was just like, for me, meeting his daughter, having a link to the past, and being on Warrior, like I was literally having goosebumps, getting emotional. I was talking like this with Shannon, you know, and because he was like, wow, you know, guys, dreams really do come true. Dreams actually came true, and I was just like, it was everything that I had ever dreamed of. That was probably the best way to finish this.
Oh, I got emotional like just watching that clip, Chen, because I have the pleasure of having met Perry, and I saw him perform at the Solidarity Rally. So Perry has actually heard, I think, part of this, that Chen, there's a real parallel for me and my sister when we were growing up. So we're biracial. So we're half Chinese and half white. So I am the same age as Shannon.
Whoa.
So the parallels for me growing up, what family was the only family that was even remotely similar to ours?
Yeah.
That's the only role model family that we really had, aside from the Japanese version and John and Yoko. Okay. So there were only so many biracial Asians out there at that time. And so, for example, when just a simple fact, when Brandon passed away, that hit me and my sister in a different way. That's my sister.
Hi.
That's amazing.
And Sean
That's
Jarvis,
awesome.
what's
You can
up?
hear me get choked up.
Sean?
There's Sean. He's usually chiming in.
Oh, awesome.
Usually when we see Sean chime in,
Brett
Brett
somewhere.
Chan is somewhere behind.
And then they're totally talking smack.
Yeah.
Sean Jarvis. Sean, brother, what's up?
What up, Sean?
I feel like Sean is like our honorary Tong member as well.
I already
Seriously.
told him this randomly, like in another like DM. I was just like, "Yo, you're one of us.
Yeah.
Indirectly, you're one of us. It's fine."
For sure. We just got to brand him in. We'll bring him into a show one day.
Yeah, he has to go.
Totally.
He's got
Yeah, Sean, you have to come.
Now, not to scare you off, but we do have the initiation here, gentlemen. When you do come on the show, you do get branded into our Tong. And there is only one person here that is, manly enough out of all of us. Oh, that is horrible to say. That is.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Say it again. Say I'm manly. Do it again.
And that is Money Matt Chua himself. No, I'm trying to keep it non-genderous now. But yes, Money Matt Chua, he comes at you guys every week and brings you the Tong Trials. Now, these are a set of questions. Matt's going to go off and you answer. And by the end of it, we brand you in. Do you feel up to this, Mr. Young?
Whoa. Hey. Bring it on. Do I have a choice? Bring it on.
You don't. You actually don't.
Yeah. All right. So this is the unabridged version. This is kind of the quick version of it because
Actually,
we know that you have to be out of here quicker. So
I was figuring, let's just get them both. All
want to get them both out of
right now. Let's just do a dual.
Chen, are you ready?
A dual Tong trial right now.
Let's do it.
First
I
ever.
love it.
Never happened before.
We'll have two in the gauntlet. All right.
Now they're after the police.
All right. So before I get this underway, Perry, Chen, are you ready to endure the Tong trials?
I'm ready.
I am.
Chen. All right. Not like you have a choice anyway, but here we go.
He's like, hell no.
All right. Gentlemen, superpower you would want, and would you be a hero or villain with it?
Go, Perry.
Invisibility. I would be a villain.
Hey, finally somebody chooses a villain.
Yeah.
Finally.
What I love is no hesitation either.
Yeah.
Invisibility, and I'm a straight up villain. I'm a
Thank you.
gangster.
Thank you. Thank you. Chen, same question.
Powers of time. Powers of time. Like
Ooh.
move and work in that dimension. And yes, I would be a villain.
Yes!
Spoken like a
That's
true
awesome.
Hopway. True Hopway.
I love it.
Brandon.
Finally, two people picked villain at long last. I'm so happy. All
That's
right,
why
here
we're
we
in
go.
the Hopway.
Damn right. Say it again. Here we go.
Man.
Question number 2. App on your phone you're always on.
Well, oh, I don't know what that means. Sorry.
You're on your phone?
What's
Yeah.
the one app you're always using?
Oh,
on
the
your phone?
app that I'm always
Yeah.
on. Oh,
And the phone that I'm always on.
Yes.
I would say within the last month, it's been Duolingo.
Oh,
Learning
Okay.
words.
Yeah, what are we learning on there?
yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing over there?
Mandarin language.
Okay.
You're tackling Mandarin.
Yeah. Well, I had Mandarin, but I had to do a film recently in Mandarin or a TV show. And I'm like, man, I don't want to sweat it anymore. I really love the language anyway. I studied it in college. I'm just going to get good at it right now. So,
Great.
so I've been
Like
doing like a couple of hours of Duolingo every day.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff.
Chen?
WeChat. WeChat.
Mm.
Talk with my family all the time. And do random things on WeChat.
Oh,
I feel like there's a story there.
I was gonna say, should I expound? What other random? No, well, I'm good. I'm gonna keep it. We'll leave the mystery on that one. Next question. Chore around the house that you hate doing.
Ooh, cleaning the bathroom.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's
I
hard.
hate it.
Everything?
Huh?
Everything,
Everything? Yeah. I everything is an acceptable answer. I will take
pretty
everything.
much.
I will take everything.
Serious.
Next question. Your biggest pet peeve.
Ooh.
I'll go right now.
Yeah.
I hate it when people are on their phone when I'm like one-on-one talking with them.
Oh,
Yes!
right.
Say it again.
You know, unless it's like doing
it's
something
so rude.
You know, but I've had people text in front of me, and I'm like, this conversation is gonna end now.
Mm.
Pet peeve are people who visit my home, use the bathroom, and make a mess and leave it.
Oh,
my
God.
what?
There's
Wipe that
plenty of them
seat.
too.
Wipe that
Yep.
seat.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wipe that
They-
seat, yo.
It's horrible. New Yorkers.
Ah.
Oh my god.
They wear the
All right.
shoes in the house.
So the first thing they do, actually, New Yorkers, when they visit you, is like, "Where's your restroom?"
Ah,
It's weird.
Yeah.
Eh?
Is there no bathrooms in New York? No public
People
bathrooms?
walk
No,
around
not
all
really.
day.
No
It's
clean
Not
hard.
really. Like you have
Yeah.
to buy stuff, and then it's just like after you buy, it's like, all right, can I please use your bathroom? Like
Mhm.
the only one is like
Same.
maybe Port Authority, but like you have to walk, depending on where you are, you have to walk like endless amount of avenues just to finally get there.
Might find surprises in there too. So
Yeah, you sometimes. Let's see. Next question. If you could create the best slice of pizza ever, what would be on it?
Ooh.
Oh, no, I'm hungry.
Oh,
God.
yeah. Thing that came to my mind recently, because I went to this Taiwanese restaurant that's really good, Mala in New York, spicy stuff, and I had pig ears for the first time.
Oh my!
Pig ears, yeah, they were crispy.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, I could see that on a pizza, pig ears.
Why do I
Hey,
feel like
yo,
they
you
would
know
look
what?
like the
I
shrimp
changed-
chips?
They were cut into strips, and they were like spicy and crispy. It was good.
Hmm.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I love bacon on my pizza, so
It
that
would
might
kind of
work.
be like bacon, yeah.
I will take that. Ooh,
Yeah.
very nice. Chen?
I'm gonna change my answer. I was originally gonna say something else, but now this is really good because, you know, like mala oil, mala powder, Sichuan.
yeah.
Like you know, it's a Sichuan system.
Oh, Szechuan.
If that was
Ooh.
on meatballs with like a mala tang style pizza.
Mm.
No.
Now I'm
Well,
hungry.
nobody-
I'm hungry.
No biters.
Go get
No?
hot
Okay.
I mean, just give it to me. I'll eat it anyway, and then
Right.
I will give you the yes or no, which it'll probably be yes because I'm a fat ass at heart. Next question. Next
And I'm a
question.
fat ass in real life, so
Yo, I'm tired of this. Don't you do that. Don't you do that, Zeus. Let's see. Next one. Who would you want to narrate your life?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, I would want Hoon Lee to narrate.
Oh,
That's not the first time we've heard this on the show, actually.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
Said that, yeah.
Wow.
yeah. Who said it last time?
That voice.
Was it Langley that said that?
Langley said that in the last. I think Brett said that.
Really?
Yeah.
That one of them said that. They were talking about his voice.
I think it was Langley, because I think what someone said. Someone said, Morgan Freeman. Of course, I mean, everybody loves Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah, I
still
think there were
waiting for someone to say
More than
Zeus.
one. Yeah, more than one person said that.
Chen, who would you want?
Harry, I see your Hoon Lee, and I'll raise you a Cat Williams.
Whoa!
Fuck out of here with that.
Now let me tell you something about Chen player. He walks every time down this street with such a strut.
Cat Williams.
All right. All
I love
right.
it.
That would be
I love
ill.
it.
Listen,
love it.
if I would have had, if you'd given me a million guesses, there's no way in the world I would have come up with that. I love it. That is too good. That is
I
too
love
good.
the trials. You always find out new shit about people. Here we go. Next question. Who would you want to play you in a film or TV series about your life?
Ooh.
We know Jason has picked Chen.
Whoa. I was about to say Chen.
Oh, Chen, you got to do Perry and you got to do Jason in their real life autobiography now.
In the same project.
In the same movie, you're playing both parts.
I could see the one-man show, Chen.
Good luck.
Oh wow. You know what? Because Jason picked me, now I gotta pick Jason.
Ooh, a flip flop. So Jason got to play.
I'm not gonna lie. I half thought he was gonna say Cat Williams again.
My name is Chen Player, and I'm about. No, I'm kidding.
Let me tell you about the violin man. I'm sorry. I will never let that go. That is that and having Bolo's twin come back are like my two. Just have that happen in season 3 or 4 or 5 and 6.
And a movie. Here we go.
And a movie. 6 in a movie. Mm-hmm. Sorry, just a little off the bat.
You know, kind of got the same facial structure in a way.
Well, maybe I could see it if he will shave the mustache.
Definitely the hair, though. I see the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
I definitely see the hair. Next question. Here we go. Now we're going to get into the thick of it. Favorite childhood memory?
Ooh. I guess it's that one I just brought up about the music. You know, my earliest memory is just running around the house scatting or doing something with my voice. I don't know what it was.
Love it.
I like it. Chen,
One of
same.
my most vivid memories was nothing really crazy dramatic, but it was the first time that when we immigrated to America, we had to fly through Alaska. And it was the first time I'd ever seen this white thing on the ground called snow.
Oh.
And, you know, I just remember I was like, this country is incredible. It's freezing. I was a kid. I was young. And, we're from the deep south of China, like right next to Vietnam, and there's no snow it's the tropical.
Yeah.
And I remember I just didn't want to leave. I think we almost missed our flight because I just couldn't. My mother couldn't find me. So that was one of my favorite memories.
Chen, where in China are you guys from?
Guangxi.
Guangxi. Oh yeah, it's way down there. Yeah. You're right.
We're only an hour from Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah, my family's from Hunan.
Oh, Hunan.
Yeah.
Cool. We're both Southerners.
Yeah.
Speaking of Southerners, let me just bring up this little topic.
Oh.
Perry, would you like to explain what part our families are from and the rarity?
Right. You have that tattoo that my brother saw when we met, right? Well, I don't have your tattoo, but the young.
Wait. Yeah. So I had a geek out moment, okay? Because one of the times when I went to binge watch the episodes again, I'm seeing the credits come across the screen. And anybody who does not know, usually if it's someone with an Anglo name, they try to sound out and add Chinese characters to, represent the person's Anglo name. But for those of us who are Asian, so you can see on the screen, you see 3 characters. You see the, Chinese order. And then all of a sudden one day, it comes across the screen. Yeah, there's Perry Young. And then I actually paid attention to the characters and I screamed because I have never, ever seen anyone's name in writing that it is our name. I've never seen anyone else. So I sent Perry a DM geeking out. Okay. Like, Perry, because Perry's so cool. He's just gabbing with us anyways. I said, Perry, what if we're related? But then I said it in the warrior group, and someone, kind of brattily came over and said, well, he could see this, right? And I said, yeah. And I told him himself. I told him right from my mouth. So what? Okay. But the whole point is this isn't very common.
It's not, and we're probably from the same clan, right? So the Toisanese, the first clan, the first Chinese that came, that left China on these indentured servitude boats were from Toisan. All the Chinese that went to Cuba, America, South Africa. I met early the first generation of Toisanese in some of our extras in South Africa. They were all part of the first wave of the indentured servitude servants that left China from that area of Guangzhou. And that young or young is rare, and it comes from our clan. So sister,
love it.
And I mean, telling that to my sister and then her explaining it to her kids. And I think it was a different panel discussion that you were on that you mentioned the extras and that you heard the dialect. And in Boston, you go to Chinatown and it's less Cantonese and more Toisanese. So that's what I really was around, as the one of the few Chinese kids around, that's what we would hear. See, my sister's saying yuppers, so it really means a lot. And so to see that, so then when we met, his brother took a picture of my forearm and said, we need to talk, because FYI everybody. So one tattoo is my mother's name and then the other is my grandfather. So I got to, so I can have them represented and still see them there. So.
Matt, you all done there, buddy? You got a couple more questions there?
I know, so it's hijacked. Sorry, I hijacked.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hey, I'm just here to steer the boat. I let you
good.
steer off a little. And that's
now we got the final two. Here we go, and these are always the ones.
Oh,
here we go. Name 3 positive things about yourself.
Chen, you go first.
Father June. Positivity. Passion. Southernness.
Right.
Southernness, yes. I'm very connected to my, being raised in the deep South. There's a lot of beautiful things that it gave me culturally.
Hey.
And it's like sort of there's just things are all good kind of feeling. It's soul. We go in Memphis. You gotta have soul.
Positivity, passion, and Southern soul.
I love it.
I like it.
Adorable.
Perry, you have.
I'm an optimist.
Okay.
I love life. I love everything about life except racism and hate. And I'm supportive.
Ooh.
That's true.
That you are.
Very true.
And
it means a lot.
And finally, the funnest one of them all, because we have to end on a fun ass note. If you had a theme song every time you entered a room, what song would it be?
Whoa.
There's so many that are coming to my mind right now.
You know what? Right now, I have to say the opening theme song to Warrior.
Yeah.
Like father, like son. Jason said the same shit. He said the same thing.
That's just such a rockin' tune. I mean, it's amazing.
But what do you think? I love your theme, but what do you think of our theme? That was
that was awesome too. I was gonna say that was
awesome. That's Matt.
Yeah, that was me.
Great job, Matt. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome tune. I was rocking to it.
Yeah, produced and written and rapped. So yes, that was all me.
Nice, good work.
Amazing.
Show America.
Show America. Yes, that was me. Yeah.
Hey, apparently I have my own theme song.
You do have your own theme song.
The home.
Own theme song. Yes.
You do have your own theme song. You'll pick that one? I've worked out to your theme song, and I fucking went ballistic on like squats one time. I was like, yes, yes.
I think because I had downloaded the album to the Warrior Seasons, and I was like, oh, cool. There's a song. Oh, it's just called Hong's Theme. That's it. Like a cool name. Just very, very. That's what you see is what you get.
So there, he's picked it. Well, with all that said, Perry, Chen, after much grueling questions, you have answered flawlessly, which means you are now officially digitally branded into our Tong, and you are part of the Hop This Way Tong. Congratulations!
Yay!
One of us. One of us. One of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I give my life to the song.
Oh,
Yeah.
What an honor. Thank you.
This was absolutely great. Now, and we're getting close to the end of the show here. I know, Frank, you said you had a question as well. We didn't get to it earlier.
I had a question for well, each of you guys, but for Perry, I was thinking since you're with your character, like the way he kind of stretches across these two continents, right? The way Young Jun kind of has a little exposition. Oh, he was involved in the Opium Wars, and then you had your dialogue with Long Z, where you were talking about how you built your empire coming to the U.S. and having that background in Asian American history, like what were you able to kind of input and glean from that whole process from your character? Because I feel like Father June has a lot of things about him that just kind of doesn't get mentioned. Like the eye never gets mentioned.
Right. We need that backstory.
And then that backstory was just mentioned in like 2 sentences, and then that dialogue with Long Z was like 20 seconds. So it's like a lot of people are kind of like, whoosh, whoosh, but then I feel like there's a lot going on back underneath it. Yeah.
That's a great question. First of all, the eye. I think it was mentioned by Young Jun telling the story of when Assam first gets into the Tong house, and Young Jun's walking him down the hall, and he says, "That's my father." Or I forgot what he said. Don't mess with him. He's the baddest dude around. He fought.
Yeah.
Right. It was Young Jun telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I did the audition, I told the story, and I told the story of fighting these British soldiers. And where he tried to stab me with the sword, and I took it. He stabbed me in the eye. I pulled it out of my eye, and I stabbed him in the throat, and I killed him. Right. So I think it got too long. Like they cut it because everything got too long for the introduction of my character. So I forgot that it wasn't mentioned. So if people don't know the story of my eye, yeah, it originally was in the script. But in terms of backstory and who this guy is, yes, Father June is a revolutionary. He fought the British soldiers in the Opium Wars to get rid of opium, which they introduced into the country to weaken the Chinese, right? So he was fighting foreign influence, and then when he got to America, he saw how hard his people were and oppressed and being taken advantage of. He saw it and brutally, treated and killed in these massacres. So I saw him as the Chinese version of Malcolm X. Like he's fighting.
Oh wow, yeah.
He's fighting for his people, from the very beginning. And he has a speech of saying the Hopway is the most notorious gang because we need to prevent the violence of the ducks upon our people. So he's saying you're joining the most violent Tong because we protect our people from the violence of the Tongs from getting lynched, right? And so I did some research on Malcolm X, and it was like, Malcolm X, nobody knows this, but he was really a nice guy. But we don't know that, right? So I read some of Yuri Kochiyama, who's a Japanese American activist, and she says whenever Malcolm came to her place, where she would have these meetings, that everybody would say, "Oh, he's so such a nice guy," And Malcolm has said this one famous quote: "I love people. I love my people, but I don't love you if you're coming at me with a noose."
Right.
You know, so but of course, you know, the white media is going to paint him a different way.
Yeah.
So I saw that room in Father June, that his there's some, that desire to help his people, the love of his people is in why he does these, um, is the reason why he's a crime boss.
Right.
And I thought that was a way that we can have sympathy for Father June, especially if he goes into season after season. We gotta know why we like this guy.
Right. So this will piggyback off of that. We got a good question from the audience here from Mike Baker. It says a question for Perry. All my interactions with him, he is a very sweet and nice person. Where does he go emotionally and mentally to play these angry, hardcore, angry or violent dudes like in Warrior, Boogie, or A Father's Son?
Well, I'm a nice, sweet guy because I get to play all that stuff on TV, right? You know,
Get it out.
if I weren't able to find an outlet for that, it'd be a different life, right? I mean, so the thing about being an artist and a musician is you do find outlets for stuff. Like I said, as a teenager, you know, all the stuff coming at you, the art allows you to process it in a more healthy way.
Yeah.
If you're able to express all these tensions through music, I mean, you just listen to hardcore metal or punk, and you know you can enjoy it, but you know where it comes from is a dark place. So yeah, that's I think for Mike Baker's question is that I found the place to be that angry person and to live it, you know, and to really live it on screen. And I know from history and my own lived experience is that life is not pleasant for a lot of people, and this is a place where you can actually find a voice for it, you know, a voice where that message can have a positive effect. So it's kind of like medicine for it, you know, it's my medicine, and hopefully people can experience that kind of trauma or, you know, that kind of work in
Processing
a character.
it.
Yeah, processing it and presenting it in a way that helps society. So I'm thankful that I have these roles. And so, I mean, it's kind of interesting that I do well in these roles because there is anger, right? You can see it like when I'm at these rallies, I'm processing that anger there too, you know, and I'm lucky to have a community to share with.
Right.
So yeah, that's where it goes. That man, that's, you know, thank God for art. That's all I gotta say.
And Chen, what about you? With your character, your character is the complete opposite, like a complete badass that will hand you your ass in 2 seconds while holding a rope, if they will. But your Hong is such a seems like a sweet, warm-hearted guy that will slit your throat. But what about you? Do you channel that sweetness from somewhere as well, though? Like, is there somewhere that you go to for that? Oh, or did we lose him?
I
Or is he deep in thought?
Lag there. There's a lag there, but
yeah.
Uh-oh. Lost him for a second.
No,
There you go.
Matt. Okay.
See, when I ask the tough questions, this is what happens.
you broke
no.
This is you break the I think for me, you know, I'm a big believer in the philosophy that, you know, we are infinite. We have all parts of all aspects of humanity within each of us. And so one of the things that I had always found with Hong was to come from such a dark place. Sometimes a survival mechanism is to see the light and fight for the light. Let the light be your sword and shield in a way.
Oh, it's
And
beautiful.
so that's why I think sometimes when you've seen a lot of shit, you know, coming from that time period in the end of the Qing dynasty, it was very, very bad. You've seen a lot of death, and you come from a very violent life. Sometimes then something, and you know, I see this with some of my veteran friends, soldiers.
Right.
Things aren't as bad. You know, that's gonna, you know, if you've seen really, really bad, if you've been to hell, then most things don't seem so bad. And I really try to see the light from that perspective, see the world from that perspective. And I think that actually gave me quite a wide-eyed wonder with all these things that I got to see, in this new country, this alien world, and to sort of see people as they are. And they didn't give me much of the backstory of Hong, but I do know enough about that period of time where I came from and the work that I had done on my role. And I think um, the first, I'll be honest, the first image that came to my imagination when I got the audition for Hong was I saw the image of a golden retriever.
Oh,
And, but a stray golden retriever. The
I
golden
get it.
retriever is quite a soft, it's just quite a loving dog. It's a very joyful animal at its heart. But if you've had to survive your whole life, if you're a stray, just try to survive, then that would be something very different. But it's at its heart, it's still a golden retriever. So that
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
I had created from, and that's what kind of gave me this sort of, the joy of things. It really is just a mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. It's now I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this, because you do seem to have this appreciation for life and this joy for life. Is this something that you've learned from your family? Is this something you've got from friends? Is this something that just was inertly in you?
I think I learned it from a very young age. I learned the meaning of love from a very young age from my grandmother, who she raised me in China.
Oh,
And actually, I'll tell a quick story about my grandmother. It'll show you exactly who she is. So she was alive. She was a little girl during the when the Japanese invaded China. She's from the northeast of China and was during World War II, and she was at the market, the getting vegetables, and she decided to take an extra like 5 minutes. She decided to dilly dally, basically, just take an extra 10 minutes. And on her way back across the bridge, going back to her aunt's house where she was staying, she saw it explode. It got shelled by the Japanese. And if she hadn't taken that extra 5 minutes, she would have been in that house. So she has told me so many stories of that time and the some inhumane things that she had to witness. But when my mother had me, I was born in Japan, you see. At the
Mm.
time China was opening again, she just picked up all her bags, went to Japan to take care of me. And I said, "Weren't you mad about these people?" And you know what she said? She just said, the Japanese people that bombed our house are not the Japanese people today. And because of the amount of love she had for her grandson, she decided to go to this place and without question. And I thought to me, she had shown me that in behavior. She had shown me that in life, and I saw that's the power of what love can do, seeing the world through those eyes. It really is just a just a choice, isn't it? So I
absolutely
think
beautiful.
Damn.
that
You know,
I've learned at a young age.
I think we've all learned a lot here today. I mean, not just from learning about your characters on this role, but learning about the heart and the people behind these characters, and that being you, of course, Mr. Perry Young, and you, Chen Tang. I want to thank you both for taking the time out of your busy days and schedules for coming here and hanging out with us with our Tong, giving
Well,
you a lot of love.
I want to say thank you to the Hopway and all the fans. I mean, because of you, we got a season 3. I mean, like really, it is such an incredible family. I mean, it starts with the cast and the creatives, the producers. the writers, directors, everyone, but it really just spreads, right? It's like Bruce Lee. It's the love of Bruce Lee. It just spreads. It's infectious, and everybody who's it's like we're all part of the Warrior family. So thank you all for doing what you're doing, because it just makes us all so much more worth it. But I really feel like I don't want to cut you guys short, because Chen has got so much more interesting things to say. If you guys want to continue chatting, I just have to run off. I'm so sorry. So well,
that's
don't let me put you on the spot, Chen. Don't let me put you on the spot.
No.
Yeah.
We're saving them from having to work out. We usually just go an hour as it is anyways, and we just hit the hour mark anyways. So I think it is a good time for us to call it. But
you can come back anytime.
Yes, you are now branded into our Tong, and I will even step aside, and you are the father of our Tong, Mr.
Yes.
Proud father. I'm a proud father. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We are proud to have you. Lots of love to all our fans out there, and of course, we go out the same way as we always do, Mr. Matt Chua.
Oh yes. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. Real quick. Do remember that you can always watch us on our official YouTube channel. Yeah. We got a shameless plug. Don't worry. Real quick, always remember, watch us on our YouTube channel. We have not enough subscribers to get to the Hop This Way show, so please subscribe, enable notifications to watch everybody, including this wonderful fucking interview that we just did with Perry and Chen. Don't forget, if you cannot watch us, we are also on podcast form on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So if you can't watch, please listen. And also, no matter what, you can follow us on the Hop This Way show on Facebook and Instagram. And that is really about it. I did that shit as quick as I could. Now, at long last, we are going to start from the left to the right, whatever, and pretty much we're going to yell, "Let's get some sticky." When
that's how we go out.
All right, that's pretty much how it ends. So here we go. Let's get some
sticky. We love you all. We hope you have a great time, and we hope you love this show. Talk soon.